we'd be remiss if we didn't take a look here moving forward to this week's Sweet 16 action. And one of those games is going to be in the East Regional semifinal at the Garden, where old familiar Michigan State, Tom Izzo, number 7 seed, taking on the number 3 seed, Kansas State Wildcats. 137.5 is the total in this one. Michigan State getting a little bit of love here in the market. It's moved to 2 now here. Drew, should be a fantastic Eastern Regional semifinal. Are you leaning one way or the other in this matchup looking forward?
Joe, I think I'm going with Michigan State in this one. I mean, Tom Izzo in March. It's tough to step in front of here. Madison Square Garden. This is tipping us off for the second weekend here, guys. Little 6:30 Eastern in Madison Square Garden. And, we saw the Big Ten all season and versus the Big 12. So kind of conference-wise, 2 powerhouses going at it. But looking at Kansas State, they did win the Battle of Wildcats here against Kentucky and beating Montana State before that. Impressive results overall. Great season. It's just Michigan State, Joe, we started talking about that offensive and defensive efficiency being good on both sides. They are top 40 on both of those. We know about the national championship kind of trend run here, being efficient on both sides. Sure enough, Michigan State is. And these teams that play really good defense and can shoot threes, which Michigan State does, plus the Spartans 76% from the free throw line. 1.5, 2 here. I don't love it. I doubt I get there to the window, Joe, but I think there's something to Izzo in March. So give me Sparty minus the short number.
Sparty minus the short number here. It is interesting, Brian, because Michigan State couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat from the perimeter yesterday against one of the most efficient offensive teams in the country in Marquette, and yet they won the damn game. Oh, yeah, defense comes into this, doesn't it, as well? So what are you thinking here as a 7 seed? You can't look past Izzo and company here. What do you think we get in this one?
There's a lot of people who have had success in the tournament that comes as a surprise. Izzo's one of those guys that has his team ready for the tournament no matter what kind of season he has. And it always looks the same. In the first half of the season, I want to bet against Michigan State every game because they look so terrible. But by the end of the year, they're right up there every single year. The problem is, I think they're getting too much credit here. I don't see how they're favored. If I take a look at the numbers in this, the Wildcats are clearly the better offensive team. They rank 39th offensively in the half court, 78th in transition. The Spartans, 321st offensively in the half court, 280th in transition. Clearly the better team offensively is Kansas State. Kansas State uses the cut play more than any other team in the country offensively. Number 1 in using the cut play, Michigan State ranks 336 defensively against the cut. This, to me, looks like the perfect matchup for Kansas State. Michigan State in what I call the shot quality coin flip games in which the shot quality numbers say that the wrong team won the game. Michigan State's 10-2 in those games. The post-game winning percentages, only 2 times were over 50%. Got a lucky Michigan State team coming off a big upset over Marquette, playing a Kansas State team who has done nothing wrong at all. And now money's coming in on Michigan State. I don't buy it. Kansas State will be on my card for this upcoming week. And I would say bet it now because I can't see this thing going any higher. If it gets to 3, this could be a 5% on Kansas State for me.
All right. Kansas State for Brian Veno. Guess what? That leaves you here right now because I got one Michigan State, I got one K-State, and you love sitting in the cleanup spot because you get to, you get to break the tie here. So what do you think? It's intriguing because on one hand, we've heard all year Kansas State is playing above its head. Right? This team is over, they're overperforming based upon what we thought we would get here. But listen, Coach Tang he's got these kids believing, and it's Izzo. So what do you do here, Veno? How are you leaning in this one? Watch him go total. Watch this.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I could play Switzerland and go total, right? You've seen me do it before, Joe. You lead me in like this, and I'm always in this chair deciding votes. I'm going to tell you why I would side with Drew on this one. I think that Michigan State has attracted money for a fundamental reason. You know, if this was the Saturday game, guys, after Thursday, and there was only one day of preparation for Kansas State, I wouldn't think this way. But we're going to give Tom Izzo 4 days to figure out what it took the Big 12 half a season to figure out. And once they did, Kansas State's offense declined. And that was go trap, double team, cut off Marquise Noel, the point guard. Now, through 2 games in this tournament, all we've heard is how great Marquise Noel is. He's outside of the Big 12 now. He's got a double-double against Montana State, I think 17 and 14 that night. He played tremendous yesterday with only 1 day to prep for him. When you watch enough Big 12 basketball this season, you found out that when teams do focus in on Noel, that offense doesn't run at all, period, end of story. And it's difficult for them to score points. Now, if you're Jerome Tang, you have to know this going in. And again, listen, they don't pay me to coach these games. I wish they did, because I would go right over there and give them my 2 cents. But if I'm Tang, he's got the team that does like to pick up the pace a little bit. And I would not go down and set up against Michigan State's half-court offense in this game, because I think they're going to be ready. Tom Izzo's going to do what Bill Belichick does to teams in football. I'm going to take away your best asset. And when that asset isn't running well, K-State does not score points. So for that reason, I think Michigan State's attracted money. I think Michigan State probably would be the right side. Now, when does the price get out of hand? Right? We've seen them up to -2 now. And I think the original line, guys, I think started with K-State as favorite in this game. And it's just been a Michigan State push. Now, that could just be, the classic Izzo narrative. Izzo in March, Izzo in March. I'm not necessarily buying into that, but I am buying into the amount of time and prep he has to study and look at film. And he's got guards that can take Noel out of this game. There's ways to do so. If I'm K-State, I'd run a little bit. I think that's why this total has been pushed up. I don't think Kansas State wants a half-court game. And Michigan State's not adverse to running either, Joe. I think it was mentioned by one of the 2 guys ahead of me that their perimeter play is really good. They're not necessarily a rough interior team like they have been in years past. It's a different style team. Right now, as of Monday, I would say my slight lean is toward Michigan State, because I think Izzo will do the right thing defensively. And I would probably lean a little bit toward over, because as much as I think Izzo will do the right thing, I've got faith that Jerome Tang will do the right thing and board and get out and run. So we'll see. I got a couple of days to make up my mind, but I think on side, I would be on Michigan State.
All right, leaning towards Michigan State. Let me just make it simple for you there, guys. All right, just take Michigan State in the first half, since they are now 21-11-1 in the first half ATS this year. And that includes, of course, what they just did against Marquette and USC. By the way, last 2 years, Sparty, 40-26-2 in the first half against the number. Take Michigan State early. Hold your breath in the second half, but take Michigan State early in those matchups here. By the way, 250-1, I believe, Wildcats preseason. Michigan State, not a whole lot of love early on this season either. I think they were 100-1, so yikes. Those 2 numbers are much less now to win them all. Both hovering right around the 25-1 marks.